Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and today we're going on a little road trip to the Charlotte area because Charlotte is home to several Value Village thrift store locations. And you may recall that Value Village was the store in Greensboro that I used to bring a lot of computers home from. Well, unfortunately, back in 2017 they went out of business. And so I had to go all the way down to Charlotte, which is about an hour and a half away from Greensboro, where I live, if I want to get that kind of stuff. So it's been a couple of years since I've been down this way, so we're going to take a little road trip down there, and I figured we'd do a little bit of thrifting today. I know I'm going to be borrowing a little bit from LGR. A little nervous though. Charlotte is a very, very big city, bigger than I'm used to. I'm a country boy, and Charlotte is a big place. So hopefully we won't have too many incidents down that way. So I just figured I would make a video out of this, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. We are just leaving Greensboro right now. We're on I-85 southbound. So yeah, hope you enjoy the ride. Okay, I'm just leaving Thomasville right now, which isn't too far from Greensboro. I just stopped here at this exit and had some breakfast at Hardee's. And by the way, I'm driving the 95 Accord. Figured this would be a great test to see if this car is truly functional now. And so far it's doing well. Of course, I haven't driven too far away from home yet. So we're getting back on 85. Well, the first place we're going to stop at is Value Village in Kannapolis, which is a little town just before you get to Charlotte. And they've got a Value Village there that I want to check out. I've been there before. So, let's see, merged on here. And so, anyway, I will see you later on the drive. Okay, we're about to leave the Greensboro, Winston-Salem High Point area, because once we cross the Yadkin River Bridge up here, we'll be officially out of my home area, and that's because we will be leaving the Greensboro TV market and going into the Charlotte TV market. So, yeah, I know that's a total geek thing to be saying, but I'm a geek. That's all there is to it. So we should be getting up to this bridge any moment now. They made a big deal about this bridge probably about 10 years ago or so. They completely replaced it. It was a big ordeal. So here we go. We're about to leave the Greensboro area. The Yadkin River Veterans Memorial Bridge. Okay, leaving Greensboro area. Greensboro TV market, that is. And now I believe we're in the Charlotte TV market now. I know no one else cares about that but me, but I just thought it was kind of interesting to make mention of that for you guys. So, yep, I'm officially away from home now. Help! Okay, so they've completely redone this whole interchange right here, and my GPS has no clue where I am, but I'm in a town called China Grove. Yeah, I know, Doobie Brothers and everything. But what's interesting about this town is that back in July of 2006, this is where I picked up my Carolina Circle Mall restroom sign from the guy I purchased it from on eBay. He lived in South Carolina, and we met halfway up here in China Grove and made the transaction. My dad drove me down here because I was 16, didn't have my license yet. So yeah, this is kind of why China Grove is kind of important to me in a way. In fact, I think it was that BP gas station on the right there where I met the guy. So that's really, really cool. But anyway, we're on our way into Kannapolis now. We got about 6.7 miles to go, I believe. So I guess I will see you guys there. Okay, we have arrived at our first Value Village location for the day. And so let's head on in. And by the way, I'm adding this narration after the fact. And here we are at the electronics section, and where we have this nifty looking eMachine CRT monitor and a whole bunch of speakers. I've never seen this many speakers in my life. Bunch of keyboards here. Unfortunately, I did not see any computers at this location. And I also apologize for the spinny camera. Hopefully you don't get too dizzy. I'm using my camera glasses here. Got an old HP Scanjet. I remember those. And a very cool looking Pioneer stereo system. And a whole bunch of LCD monitors. Unfortunately, I do not need any LCD monitors at the moment. I have an excess of them. It's like part of a Sony boombox with a Sharp radio there. And on the other aisle we have a bunch of networking equipment that I do not need. We have some audio equipment here along with a very old Magnavox CD player, and I was so tempted to get this Pioneer tape deck because I've always liked the look of these Pioneer tape decks, but decided not to. I don't need it. My Sony deck at home still works just fine. And up front, behind the glass, we have this early to mid-2000s Toshiba laptop, but I did not get it because it doesn't have a power cord, and I have no use for that. Okay, so we're now headed to a town I've never been to before, because there's a Value Village there that I've thought about going to before in the past, but decided not to. It's in Mooresville, and it's not too far from Kannapolis where we just were, so I figured we could go there and check them out, and then just hit, I think, Interstate 77 south into Charlotte and take things from there. Looks like it's going to be mostly countryside that we'll be driving through into Mooresville, so I also believe that's near Lake Norman, so that ought to be neat to look at when we pass by it. So hang in there, we'll get there. Okay, supposedly we're in Mooresville now. I have no familiarity with this place whatsoever. I'm just putting my faith in my GPS and the good Lord, of course, that I will make it home safely. Okay, I guess we probably get in the right lane. Should be on this road, the Mooresville Value Village. And I'm going to be mad if they're closed. I don't see why they wouldn't be. So the website said they were open, so. There's a lot of traffic in this town. So, it says we're about 1.5 miles away. Hey. It's always exciting to go to a new town and have a change of scenery. I'm really hoping we can find some stuff to bring home, and that I'm not making this big trip for nothing. That would be quite a shame.
at address 219, on right. Arriving at address 219, on right.
Okay, this should be it over here, I think. Yes, it is. Praise the Lord, I didn't make a wrong turn. Never been to this value village before. Who knows, maybe this was a smart decision. Okay, now let's check out the value village here in Mooresville. So let's head on in. I had never been to this one before. And off to the electronics. Again, no computers unfortunately, but again a lot of LCD monitors. That'd be great if someone needed them, but I don't need any LCDs at the moment. Now this was really cool. This is the exact same Kmart clock that my parents bought new in the 1980s, and I still own. And you know what? This was only $2, so I went on ahead and bought it. It's nice to have two of those. And again, really didn't see much else here. There's a HP photo printer and an old typewriter, a Royal Apollo. Very nice feeling typewriter for those who care about that. And check out this really cool looking stereo console, probably from the 1960s, 1970s, only $15. That'd be great for someone who had the room for this. I do not, especially since I'm moving into an apartment soon. That is really cool. Has a radio, turntable, possibly even an 8-track player. I also added some ambient noise in the background to block out the copyrighted music. Okay, I'm on I-77 South, still in Mooresville, heading south towards Charlotte. And I just wanted to get on camera something that I don't see back home in Greensboro. This road has express lanes, like carpool lanes and good stuff like that, which I'm not going to drive on because you have to pay a toll for that. And I don't feel like doing that. So yeah, I thought that would be kind of interesting. In fact, there's a sign up here saying how much it cost. 75 cents. And it would be higher for me because I don't have a sticker on this car, so they'd have to send a bill by mail. I think that's how it works. I think they just put these in not long ago, in the past year or so. So right now we're actually not going to Charlotte just yet. We'll be going near there, but we're going to be going, and to the right is Lake Norman actually. We're going to be going to the city of Gastonia because there's a, believe it or not, a value village there that I've never been to. And I've never been to Gastonia either. So yeah, it is a bit out of my way, but who knows, it might be worth it. Here's a pretty good view of Lake Norman. I don't know how well you can see it, but man, it's beautiful out there. That's actually a very nice sight, I gotta say. Okay, and now we're going into Mecklenburg County, which is the county Charlotte's in. So, big city time, folks. Look at all them boats over there. Golly. we're going to exit onto Interstate 485.
Exit 19B8 on right to I-485.
Thank
then
you.
keep right.
Thank you. 485 outer, I believe. This is the big loop they have around Charlotte.
Keep right to I-485 south.
Go this way. Now, I've been on part of 485 before, the opposite end of it, but never this part, so this ought to be interesting. This is completely unfamiliar territory to me.
Continue 10 miles on I-485 south. Exit 910 on right.
Okay, now we're about to take the exit back to I-85, Greensboro, Spartanburg, Wilkinson Boulevard. And we're actually going to head towards Spartanburg, which is in South Carolina, but we're not going to South Carolina, don't worry. So we're going to take 85 south, go the other way, that would take us back home to Greensboro, but we're not ready to go home yet. I sure hope we can find some computers to bring home today. Hate to drive all this way for nothing, but hey, at least I'll get some good video footage. How about that? Okay, so it looks like we got another 16 miles to go. I hope I don't regret going all this way. So I hadn't planned on going to Gastonia today. I've never even been to Gastonia. Not far from the Charlotte airport either. Okay, 85 south. It's a big road. And I've never been this far down 85
miles on
before.
I-85 south.
Now let's head into the Gastonia Value Village. And as soon as I arrived at the electronics department, look what I find. It's a computer. This is a Dell Dimension B110 with a Intel Celeron D, I believe from around 2006 or so, for only $20. Very low-end computer for its time. And you know what? I considered buying it, but then I discovered this. This is a old Dell Optiplex. Again, I'm sorry the camera footage isn't that good, but this one has a Pentium 4 in it, and I thought about just buying this one and nothing else, but I went on ahead and bought both of them. So yeah, two computers here finally. And again, I sincerely apologize for the shaky video. And we also have a couple of keyboards. Thought about getting these, but wound up not. Okay, so here's the haul from the Gastonia Value Village. We've got a Dell Dimension B110 for $20, and a Dell Optiplex GX260 for $15. So that's it for Gastonia. Let's head up towards Charlotte and check those stores out. Driving through
West Long Avenue.
Thank you. Driving through downtown Gastonia, and I just passed a bail bond office, which, you know, kind of gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling, don't it? Must be nearing I-85, being northbound. Feels weird for me to go north to go to Charlotte. I know, my mind comes up with all kinds of crazy things. Don't know if you can see it or not, but there's the Charlotte skyline to the left. So I think we're taking the exit after this one here. Now the Value Village I'm going to, I have been to a couple of times before, but it's been a couple of years. Nice if cars could stay out of my blind spot. But yep, we're in the big city now, folks. Finally made it, Mall. I'm crazy. Okay, when I get a better view of the skyline, I might be able to later.
Keep left onto North Carolina 27, then keep right.
I usually take this exit from the opposite direction. Not that I'm here often.
Keep right onto North Carolina 27 East.
Okay, here's our first Charlotte area Value Village, or Charlotte area as in within the city limits. And so this is a Value Village that actually did have a computer, but unfortunately it was in really rough shape. This was a Dell Dimension like 4500, I think, as well as a mid to late 2000s compact. Thought about buying this Dell, but as you may or may not see, it was in pretty rough shape. The part of the front was missing, so decided to forego it. And you may have also saw there was a loose sound card. And this is a 2000s era compact Presario desktop. No interest in that. So again, lots of LCD monitors here. So I think we're going to have to leave this one empty-handed, unfortunately, but maybe we will find something else somewhere else. Okay, we're going to the next Value Village in Charlotte and get a real good view of the skyline right here. Yeah, Greensboro has a skyline. I should be used to this kind of stuff, but ours isn't as impressive, I guess. Oh, me. That was an old abandoned railroad track. I-77 in a moment.
Take ramp on right to I-77 south. Take ramp on right to I-77 south, then keep left. 2.77.
Of course, there's cars coming, so I can't merge. Thanks, whoever blinked their lights in to let me in. If we stay on this road for 9 more miles, we'll be in South Carolina, but we're not going to do that today. I feel like staying in my home state today. No offense to South Carolina, but I'm just not in the mood.
3.7 miles. Then take.
Okay, let's try this again. And I really could not find much at this Value Village. In fact, I didn't find anything at all. This, again, was mostly just electronics that I did not care for. There was a nice Samsung HD TV there that you may have saw for a brief moment. But yeah, mostly a bunch of junk I could really care less about. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. The traffic in Charlotte is cruelty in its purest form. It's as simple as that. I mean, Greensboro traffic's bad in its own way, but Charlotte, my goodness. I think I've narrowly avoided about 5 wrecks while I've been here. But anyway, we're off to our last Value Village. Last one we were at was a bit disappointing. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have better luck at this one. We still have 10 minutes to go before we reach that one. I think we're practically in downtown Charlotte almost, or I guess the locals call it uptown Charlotte. I'm not up on my Charlotteography, I guess you could say. Oh, but yeah, I guess I'm just not used to the big city. Yeah, I'm just too country for this kind of place. Not to mention I'm hitting every red light in the city, it seems. But I think my GPS is going to have me get on Interstate 277, which is the downtown Charlotte expressway loop. I guess you could describe it as that. I've never really driven on it much. And no offense to people in Charlotte, I like this place, I really do, but when it comes to the big cities in North Carolina, I'm more of a Raleigh person. In fact, my fiance and I are going there in a couple of weeks to meet a friend of mine who I haven't seen in a while, so that'll be fun. So, okay, this is South Boulevard. Okay, I've never had a crosswalk red light before. That's very different. Slows me down a little bit, but that's different. Yeah, I guess I'm doing this right. Guess this needs to turn green. That would make sense, I guess. Or it's just going to be blank. Well, I guess that's the same as green, so sorry, cops, if I did something wrong.
In 0.2 miles, turn right onto I-277 North.
I believe this is John Belk Freeway.
Turn right onto I-277 North.
Fairly certain that's who the Belk department stores were named after. Belk was founded here in Charlotte.
Drive 0.8 miles, then take exit 2B on right to US 74 East.
I'll go ahead and say this as well. I do not speed, so I get passed a lot. I'm going to take the exit for US 74 East, Independence Boulevard. I believe this is it right here.
In 0.3 miles, take exit 2B on right to US 74 East. Take exit 2B on right to US 74 East.
I hear you. This is a big road. Okay, now let's check out the last value village for the day. And we, once again, have a whole bunch of LCD monitors that I have no use for. There's a old boombox there from the early 2000s, I believe. And a bunch of DVD players. Don't need any DVD players, but if you need one, come to Value Village. And this is really cool. This is a green Acer keyboard that was sold with an Acer Aspire series, I believe, from 1996. So I went on ahead and grabbed it. And we also have this Toshiba tablet laptop from the mid-2000s, but it was $25, no power cord, don't know if it works, so I skipped it. Okay, the last two places I went to, the last Value Village and the Goodwill Grid store, which is a really cool store in Charlotte that sells nothing but used computer stuff. My camera glasses, the battery died on them, so I wasn't able to show the inside of those places. But all in all, I'm coming home with 3 computers, 2 from the Value Village in Gastonia, and and 1 from the Goodwill Grid store, which I'll show you when I get home. So I'm actually headed home right now. I'm going to stop and get some lunch somewhere, then head on home, and I will catch y'all there. And we're back in the Greensboro TV market. We've still got a good ways to go before we can call ourselves at home. Okay, we are back home now. It's great to be home again. And so let's take a look and see what we brought home from the Charlotte area. Starting with this is a Dell Dimension B110 that I purchased at the Value Village in Gastonia for $20.20. This is a late Pentium 4 era Dell system. Very, 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 very low end, especially since it has a Celeron D. I don't know when this was manufactured. If I had to guess, probably sometime around 2005, maybe early 2006. Doesn't have a manufacturing date. And I already opened it up. Everything is inside, including the hard drive. And by the way, I haven't tested any of these computers yet. And also from the Value Village in Gastonia is this Dell Optiplex GX260, manufactured in February of 2003, featuring a Pentium 4, probably a Northwood era. A little bit on the dusty side. We got just a bog standard CD-ROM drive and a floppy drive. So again, sort of low end, sort of not. And from the Goodwill Grid store, you didn't get to see this because I wasn't able to get the camera glasses in there, is a Dell Optiplex 755. Unknown specs, but it's definitely a Core 2 Duo era system. Could just be a Pentium, but it'll be from the same era. Again, I have no clue what's in here. Haven't tested any of these yet. Also from the Goodwill Grid store in Charlotte is this very interesting looking sound card with a VIA trimmer chip on it. So I'm not really sure exactly what kind of sound card it is, if it has good DAW support or not. But it has quad outputs on there for audio, including a optical out. And a very cheap-looking Orion power supply. I bought this just because I have a couple computers that do need a power supply right now that I had to steal power supplies out of for other projects, so don't know what this will go in yet. Depends on which computer I need the most at the moment. But here it is. Hasn't ever been used. It presumably dates from the early to mid 2000s. Got the power supply there, a power cord, and 4 screws. Very, very nice. And I think it's a 480 watts, so it's not bad at all. And from the Mooresville Value Village, we have this Kmart alarm clock, which is the exact same model alarm clock that I have in my bedroom. My mom bought it new for herself back in the 80s. And it still works great. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can test this particular one. It has a few little gashes right here. There we go. Turn the alarm off, but yes, it does work. It is not 12:01 a.m., but it does work, and of course I could take that price tag off with some Goo Gone. But that's neat to have. And plus, I'm moving out on my own when I get married in September, so this clock may come in handy in one of my rooms in the apartment. And from the one of the Goodwills in, not Goodwills, one of the Value Villages in Charlotte is this very neat looking Acer keyboard from the mid-90s. It's a cheap rubber dome type feel, but it's a very neat looking keyboard. I wish the computer this went with was for sale there, but oh well. There's the back of it. It's not going to focus. There we go. It was built August the 9th of 1996. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and test these 3 computers while we got them up here. Okay, just for reference, this is the back of the computer of the Dimension B110. This is going to be our first test subject. Hopefully we don't get any wild explosions. But let's switch power strip on. And it turns on by itself. Now we're going to get, yes, we get a post. But we do have a dead CMOS battery, which is not a surprise at all. diskette drive 0 seek failure. That's because there's no floppy disk drive in this computer, but with the BIOS settings reset, it doesn't know that. Okay, this might take a minute for the automatic IDE configuration. Okay, let's just go into the BIOS and see what we got. Okay, it thinks it's January 3rd, 2006. Drive configuration. For some reason, the primary IDE was turned off, so we'll turn that back on. CPU information, we have a 2.53 gigahertz Intel Celeron D. Very, very low-powered CPU, but this was a very budget-oriented system when it was new. Okay, let's see if we can turn off that floppy drive. Okay, diskette interface, it should be off. This is, for a cheap computer, this does have a lot of nice BIOS settings. Now, I doubt it's going to remember the time, but it is about 6:34 p.m., and the date is not January 3rd, 2006. I am not 16 years old. It is actually July 27th of 2020. So it'll probably forget these settings once I turn the computer back off. But at least this will get us going. Let's see if it'll boot into Windows. Presumably this is running Windows XP. Hard drive LED is just blinking away, so it's making an effort. I'll give it that. Does the CD drive open? Yes, it does. May or may not need a new hard drive. Uh-oh. Strike F1 to retry reboot. So let's go into the setup utility and see if, well, it's seeing some sort of a hard drive. Well, I'll diagnose this further at a later time, but at least it does a power on self-test, and I think we can make something out of this. Don't know what, but I think we should be good to go with this system. So let's move on to that Optiplex. Okay, here's the back of the other system. This is the Clamshell Optiplex, manufactured February the 17th of 2003. Yes, I know it's blurry. Sorry about that. So, here we go. Okay, we got an LED and power on self-test. Very similar screen as the other computer. And I've already opened this computer, and it is missing the hard drive that had been removed for privacy reasons, probably. But everything seems in order here. Okay, we got a Pentium 4 clocked at 2.8 gigahertz, so for 2003, that was pretty good. So we can get some CPU info. So yeah, not a bad chip for that era. This was before the era of hyper-threaded Pentium 4s, but not too long before. It was on its way. And it is September the 24th, 2002, apparently, so I'm just shy of turning 13. But, again, no hard drive in here, so there's not much we can do with it at the moment. But I will be glad to do something with it someday. And at least it works. On to the other. Okay, this is a very teeny tiny Dell Optiplex 755. Presumably from the late 2000s, probably around 2007, probably. In fact, here's probably the manufacturing date right here. It was manufactured September the 5th, 2008, so a little bit newer than I had thought. I haven't opened this up yet, so and since this came from the Goodwill Grid store, I already know that this is not only not going to have a hard drive, but it's also not going to have memory. But I got a stick of 512 megs of DDR2 we can pop in here just to test it with. By the way, sorry for going tripodless in this video. Now, I don't know how these are supposed to open. Here we go. Boy, this is jammed tight in here. Let's see. Not much to see in here. Presumably the CPU is under there. I don't know what kind of CPU it is. Could be a Pentium D, Pentium dual core. Hopefully a Core 2 Duo. That would be nice. Okay, I had to put the memory in off camera. It was just too hard to do it one-handed. But it's in there. It's only 512 megs, but it's enough to give this computer a post test, which we'll do right now. It's on full blast. With no picture. Oh dear. Oh, here we go. I was being a little paranoid there. Let's see what we got in here as far as a processor. Ooh! Now that's a treat. An Intel Core 2 Duo E8400 at 3.8 gigahertz. That is a really nice chip for this type of system. So yeah, that is top spec as far as the Core 2 Duos are concerned. It's only got 512 in there. And it thinks it's 2011. Again, no hard drive, but that can be added. And it has onboard Intel video, presumably. And I can play with some of this later. I'm probably just going to fix this up as a Windows XP box and resell it, because I really don't have a use for this, but it might be fun to play with for a little bit. See what I can do with it. By the way, on that first computer we looked at, the Dell Dimension B110 with the Celeron in there, it was manufactured May the 16th of 2006, so that sounds about right for this type of system. Okay, I hope you enjoyed our journey to Charlotte and the surrounding area to pick up these interesting little pieces from the thrift stores down there. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not going to go back to Charlotte anytime soon. That place can tire you out. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You may also support me on Patreon if you would like. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.